Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Poplars. Today I'm going to be cutting this probably 4 to 5 meter long shoot of wisteria. It has not been touched at all for the entire year, and yeah, it is just insanely long. And then after I cut it, I will show you. I'll show you how long it actually is. And it's coiled around the irrigation system. Okay, I got it. There it is. This is wisteria. When you don't let it, when you just let it grow unrestricted. And so I'm going to get some shears, and I'm going to cut it, the wisteria shoot. I got the shears, and now I'm going to cut it at the base of the stem so that you can see the entire length of it. I need to see. Where does it begin? Okay, so it begins. It's actually thicker than the stem it came off of. There's inverse taper. I've cut it. Now we can see. So, you can see where it came off of. This is skinnier. Yeah, this is skinnier than this. That's vigorous. That's where I cut it last year. It formed a seed pod, so this is last year's growth. But it goes. Keeps going. Here, it flowered, and yeah, there was a flower right here, but it didn't form a seed pod. Then it kept growing, coiled around a vine and branched into two. No, actually, this is where it was coiling around this thing for the umbrella right there. And I put a bamboo stick in it, and I coiled it around the bamboo stick. And so it grew, oh God, it grew to here, and this was all coiled around the stick, but then this got weak, so it sprouted a branch right here, and then this branch sprouted, and then right before it started growing into to meet the wisteria, the rest of it branched into two, and that one, and they both grew around the wisteria stems, and yeah, so here this broke when I was cutting it. And I remember showing you in October, during the legume video, yes, it was during the legume video. I showed you that. And I had to snap some of them to, I don't know, like unwind them, I guess. So now I want to show you the whole length of the shoots. And I'm going to set you up right here. Hello again. I'm going to get the shoot, and I'm going to kind of extend it out for you. So here it is. It's a very long shoot. That is 5 meters or something. worth of growth. And if you combined all of these into one single vine, it would be over, like, I don't know, 5 meters long. Yeah, I'm trying to show the entire thing. It's very long. So that is what happens when you don't cut your full-grown wisteria. It gets very long. And yeah. So that's the wisteria shoot. But today, I want to do a video about wisteria as a whole. So yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Poplars once again. Today I'm going to be doing a video about wisteria, and wisteria is the scientific name for the plant. It has no common name. Well, I guess you can say that it's the same. The common name and the scientific name are the same. Today I'm going to talk about the characteristics of wisteria, and I guess talk about the stuff that where it lives and where it likes growing, and also like how old it can get and hardiness and stuff, all that stuff. But this is not wisteria. This is a willow. This willow sprouted in here on its own. I might have planted a seed of willow in here. A leaf just came off. Yeah, but this is a willow. It's not wisteria. These two bare twigs are wisteria. There's also a wisteria in here. And these are redwoods, I think. Somehow they're growing like juniper or something else. But yeah, so without any further ado, I want to talk about this and how I'm going to style all of these, I guess. So wisteria is a vine, as you saw, but it's a very large, it's a long-living vine that can get very large, but it's not the world's largest legume. It's the world's, I'm very sure that it's the world's largest legume that is a vine, and maybe the world's oldest living legume that is a vine as well. Wisteria can get over 100 years old, I'll tell you that. And the oldest one is probably in Japan. I think it's the one with like the trellis. It covers like more than an acre. I don't know how big an acre is. Maybe our yard is an acre, but like the wisteria covers, like the canopy covers like the most of the area of our yard worth of space. But yeah, it still has some of its leaves on. You can see most legumes have compound leaves. All legumes form seed pods, and yeah. This and legumes can be deciduous and evergreen, semi-evergreen, but this is a deciduous kind of evergreen, of a legume, and it's the family for that is Fabaceae, and yeah. So the family of legumes, Fabaceae, is very, very large, and it includes over, like, I don't know, possibly 500 species of trees and groups of plants and stuff, beans and vetches and mimosas, acacias, and stuff like that. I mean, we have legumes growing there. They're completely different, but this is wisteria. Here's the bark of when it gets very old. It can get, you know, I mean, this has been mostly, it's a bit smooth because it's, well, maybe it's smooth because it's old. Maybe it's a bit more rough when it's younger. But you know, the bark starts to split and get like really rough. Like, I don't know. Let's see this one. So there's this year's growth. I think this is last year's growth. And the year before, it grew all the way to there. And I think it would take 5 years for it to start cracking and looking like this. So, yeah. Yeah, well, it doesn't want to grow into a tree. And if you let it grow, if you don't let it grow up anything, it's going to grow a bunch of runners along the ground, and they'll probably root in the ground and just keep spreading. And it'll still get this thick. It's just, it'll just be a ground cover, and it'll cover like this ridiculous amount of like space, acres and acres, I guess, because it roots itself into the ground. But these naturally climb things. They climb each other. And, oh, there's a rotten piece of wisteria. So I gotta get that visible for the gardeners to pick up. Yeah, moss like growing on wisteria. And it's a haven for like birds and stuff, because all the dense branches, they keep overlapping each other every year, and they become very nice for birds and nesting. Also, my cats love to like hang out in the wisteria. I've seen them laying around on a trellis, so that when during the summer they're all protected by the leaves and stuff. They get nice shade and they just hang out. We have this weird box right here. I don't know what it is, but it's flat on top, and the cats just love laying on it. I don't know what it is like to be up there. Well, there's a ladder right here, and I mean, yeah, you can see why it'd be a very nice space of comfort for the animals, because it's a very plentiful plant, because you get these flowers and all the carpenter bees that live here, and they kind of, I think they nest like in the wood here. They absolutely love the flowers, and you just hear a constant buzzing during April. The whole ground turns purple in late April when the flowers fall off, and the whole ground turns yellow in early December and late November when it gets peak fall colors. But now the ground, it gets swept every Friday by the gardeners. And yeah, you can build up a very dense layer of soil if you don't sweep it, because there's a lot of leaves and there's lots of fallout, and you when it's in its peak fall color, or when it's in just after its peak bloom, you can see petals or leaves falling at the slightest breeze, and it's very magical. Like, I probably have some in my hair or in my hood, from just standing right there in the remaining leaves. But yeah, there's a jasmine crawling up it as well. It's evergreen. I don't think it's a legume, no. Yeah, it's a different kind of group of plants. But yeah, it's a very nice and popular species for bonsai. because its leaves can miniaturize quite well. So I'll show you what the big leaves look like. This is what the big leaves can look like. Like golf ball sized, and as hard as surface area, I guess. However, the leaves can get quite small. They can get smaller than this. On mine, I'll actually show you the fallout from my bonsai versions. So here we are again at the pre-bonsai wisteria, and I'll get a old leaf for you. So in the first year of growing from seed, my little wisteria right here, that gray twig, it had leaves this big. This is the biggest leaf overall that it got. Very small. And this is from the parent one, so I'm just keeping the ones from this one only. These ones had bigger leaves because they're in a bigger container. Now this one is probably completely filled with roots. I can see the roots in the drainage holes, somewhere there. But yeah, it's a very beautiful legume, and I highly recommend starting one as bonsai early in your life, because they can get old, and it's very nice to watch them develop over the years. I may sound quite old saying that, but I am not. I am not even an adult yet, and yeah, but that's my guess, because they are an old growth. They can get old growth, and they can live for a long time. They get very large, and they're probably one of the best species for bonsai because they're one of the most seasonal plants I've ever seen. Plums and wisteria are the two most seasonal plants I've ever seen, and been introduced to, because they get fall colors. So there are still some full leaves of fall colors, you can see. And someone is cutting cement over there. But they get fall colors, and they're very nice. They are late fall colors, however, it's totally worth it. And they get wonderful flowers, and I don't know how long they have to be in order to flower for the very first time. Maybe 5 years? We'll see. And I will be patient, and I can wait any amount of time until these flower for their first time. So yeah. Oh, and the seeds. This is what they look like. I just picked that out of the seed pod. So they look like this. They're poisonous. Do not eat these. Yeah, it was hazardous when I was a little kid. I probably tried to eat these, but as I expected, Mom and Dad looked over me constantly. So if they saw me trying to eat these, I would do that. No eating. It is poisonous, and that you should probably, if you have like an animal, like a dog that probably eats anything, you should pick the seed pods, because they explode when they get ripe. These will all start bursting and spreading seeds everywhere. I don't know if they hit the windows and chip the windows, but it's quite a forceful action when they explode. So they explode throughout the growing season. But the most rapid and frequent seed explosion and dispersal is in late spring to early summer, when the new seed pods are being formed. And it's depending on what kind of person you are. Like, sometimes people like the sound, sometimes people don't, but I like it. I personally like it. I like hearing the seed pods explode during spring. And I'm sure you'll probably hear that a lot when I'm doing videos in my backyard. So yeah, I think that's all for today. It grows moss very easily. Lots of moss like growing on it. And when this is wet, it gets very puffy and green, and all the stems on the wisteria turn green. Yeah, the moss likes growing on it. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's not invasive, but you have to keep it in water. And especially if you're going to let it grow really long extensions, which is probably a good idea because that's how you can keep it healthy. You could keep a tray of water underneath it because it's really thirsty when during the hot summer months, and it's growing really fast. See, this shoot probably used up. If you were trying to grow a shoot like this, while on one of your bonsai, you would have to keep it in full, in water the entire year. So that shoot does not suck up all the water and make it dry. Yeah. So when wisteria grow that long, for over a foot, you gotta increase the watering. Especially if you have dry summers. Here it doesn't rain at all during the summer, except that recently we've been developing a thunderstorm season in late summer that started in 2017. But yeah, yeah, and it's a very nice plant. I highly recommend it, as like I said many times. So yeah, that is all for today. This is the Watch Poplars, and I will see you in the next video.